Hello and welcome to another video on the JJ Think Tank. Today I want to talk about conspirology, conspiracy theories, and their limits and use. So with the advent of the internet in the 1990s, early 2000s, the spread of conspiracy theories and conspiracy-like thinking, conspirology, has definitely increased. Across the internet we can find various theories regarding different aspects of reality, I guess. We have conspiracy theories that are related to political events. So these theories are used to describe and explain various political events, the reason for their occurrence, what the end goal is, and so forth. Then we have other conspiracy theories, my view, more crazy ones, that touch on metaphysical issues, on reality itself, ontology. And these conspiracy theories are, as I said, crazy, but also unverifiable and unfalsifiable. And this is important because if they are not unfalsifiable, if there isn't a way to show that they are either true or false, then by definition they are not scientific, right? If we are to use Karl Popper's definition. So the problem with these crazier conspiracy theories, these theories that are, as I said, unverifiable and unfalsifiable, or falsifiable, either word works here, is that they don't really help us to really understand ourselves and the world around us. The knowledge is sourced from the depths of an individual person who picks and chooses information as he or she pleases, yes. And out of this creates a whole construction that is supposed to explain everything, right? And this is a problem, obviously. This is a problem because with the rise of conspiracy theories and conspirological type thinking, we can see a rise in solipsism and relativism, even as well, ethical relativism, moral relativism, and no shared view of reality. A person that comes to mind is David Icke. I won't go into his thought in this video because I want to save it for another one. But he is a prime example of someone who, on the one hand, yes, he has revealed many aspects, perhaps darker aspects of our world and the ruling forces on this planet, but also he goes too far in his Gnostic worldview, which eventually results in a strange, absurd type of solipsism where he only worships his own mind to the detriment of everyone else. He rejects everyone else, everyone is part of the matrix, everyone everyone is a fraud, everyone doesn't know what they're talking about, only David Icke, holier than thou, knows the secrets of the universe, and only he will save humanity. It's absurd. It's absurd, and it can lead someone down the wrong path. Personally, I went down this path, this rabbit hole of conspiracy thinking. On the one hand, I don't regret it, but also I do feel that I wasted a lot of time, because in a practical sense, it didn't really improve my life, and also it's a way of thinking that doesn't really develop your mind. Yes, it doesn't develop really your critical thinking skills. On one hand, it does initially, but then afterwards, it's kind of like pick and choose. Kind of mentality. It's a pick and choose mentality. It doesn't require any rigor, any scientific rigor, and it's simply, to put it crudely, not good enough. But let's go back to the positive aspects of conspiracy theory, conspiracy theorists, and how we shouldn't also totally ignore them. So we can have many theories that, after reviewing the events that take place, we find that the initial theory itself was actually accurate. So this is particularly true in the world of geopolitics and war, because before a war takes place, before a political event takes place, we can predict with quite a high accuracy that it will happen. So, for instance, the war in Ukraine, the war in Iran, all these wars are manufactured, created in order to serve a particular agenda of the ruling elite. And definitely, to some degree, the ruling elite, they do cooperate, unknowingly or knowingly. We can't obviously verify this, but on some level there is some cooperation taking place, because so many events in the world recently have confirmed that our governments are traitorous, and all of the governments act in coordination. So let's give a concrete example. Well, before I give a concrete example, here is kind of the structure of, well, the economic structure and political structure of the world, according to conspiracy theories. And this pyramid is quite accurate, I think, after reviewing it and comparing it to what I know about the world. So of course, here we have the common citizens, the debt slaves. Above the debt slaves, we have government, the media, the education system. So all of these are designed to control the common citizen, to reduce his freedoms, and to set him down or place him in a certain path. Then above the government, we have the corporations, which are multinational in nature. So all the governments, all the states in the world, they have some power, but a higher level of power lies with the corporations, because they decide economic events. And as we know, economics is the ruling force in many ways in the modern capitalistic world. It's kind of a blind force that determines the fate of nations and their people. And then above the corporations, this is where we have to speculate a little bit, because we have less evidence of these kind of people and these organizations existing. It's kind of harder, as I said initially in my video, to verify their actions, but there is enough evidence to prove that these organizations do exist and that they do have an impact on our world and our way of life. So we have the central banks, tax revenue that obviously comes from all of the lower parts of the pyramid, think tanks, so we have Bilderberg Group, Council on Foreign Relations, United Nations, other Western think tank groups like Chatham House. And then above these we have families, yes? And this is pure speculation. There is, well, some information on Wikipedia online, but here it's really, it's an act of faith, really, where we believe that these families exist and that they really do control everything. Yeah. Here we can say, we can ask the question, okay, perhaps they do control a lot of parts of our world, but ultimately people as a group, we common citizens, we do have some power to influence some events in the future. Well, some typical families that are named as being very influential, both now and in the past, are, for example, the Rothschilds, the Rockefeller Group. What other families? I guess the Windsor family, right, in the UK. Diana, Prince Charles, all these people, right? Queen Elizabeth. And yes, well, for instance, when we look at the era of Napoleon, we can see that Rothschild and his sons, at the time, they already set up all of their banks. One son, for example, set up a bank in Austria, another in Italy, another one in Britain, probably in France as well. I don't know the exact facts, but there is evidence that this happened and that they influenced the events of the Napoleonic Wars and funded both sides. And later on in history, this kind of pattern repeats itself, both before the First World War and the Second World War. And also with the work of Anthony Sutton, we can find that Wall Street and other major families funded the Bolshevik Revolution. So there definitely is some coordinated action going on. But I wouldn't say that they're able to control every minute detail of our reality, and that we're completely at the mercy of these people, yes? Because once you think a little bit more about this type of conspiracy thinking, it leads to kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. And people like David Icke, it seems that on one level that they simply want to prove to themselves that they are right, yes? And they want to present themselves as being this all-knowing God, yes? Oh, look! I said this 30 years ago. I was talking about this 30 years ago. I was the first to say it. So it's dangerous to fall into this trap, because if you start believing in these conspiracy theories too much, paradoxically you kind of give up and you think, oh, what's the point then? If everything's already determined beforehand, if we don't have power, what's the point? So then we start to think, maybe this type of thinking is not ultimately good for us. So before I finish the video, I want to share some of the points I made in my article. So I'll read some sections. Not all events and past history can be explained using conspirological thinking. Sometimes it is just incompetence on behalf of the ruling powers, sometimes stupidity. On other occasions, events occur as simply random and cannot be explained meaningfully. So yeah, this is an important point that I didn't make. There is an element of randomness, and this randomness cannot be explained meaningfully. Which shows that, in a way, this world of ours is not deterministic. And we should be happy about this, because it gives us a degree of freedom, yes? And something always happens that is unexpected and that we cannot predict. Nonetheless, to gain a broad, coherent picture and worldview, one should not dismiss the supposed conspiracy theories of our age. Many conspiracy theories simply come to the truth beforehand. They're able to connect the dots, and people who outright refuse to listen to any conspiracy theories usually dismiss their arguments and thinking without engaging in what they have to say. And this is also a lazy way of approaching other people's ideas. So conspiracy theories and their thoughts and ideas, they remind us of Schopenhauer's words and his famous sentence that he uttered, which is, all truth passes through three stages. First, it is ridiculed, then it is violently opposed, and then third, it is accepted as being self-evident. And what a better example to give than COVID, yes, and the lockdowns, and the stabbies. COVID. So obviously, we remember the times of COVID back in 2020. Suddenly everything was locked down. We were advised to take the stabby. Many warned that this stabby is dangerous, that it can lead to bad side effects. And over time, these people have been vindicated, yes? Both about COVID, the lockdowns, and the stabbies. Others didn't notice this when COVID was occurring, and they promoted the narrative of the oligarchy. They promoted lockdowns. They believed in the danger of this virus. They promoted the use of the stabbies to prevent the spread of it. And these people we can call the gatekeepers. So the gatekeepers are people that represent the interests of the ruling class. They pretend to be against the ruling class, but in actual fact they are for the ruling class. and for the continuation of their power. And these people are, I can give some names here, yes. People like Jordan Peterson, Piers Morgan, Ben Shapiro, Brett Weinstein. All of these people, they present themselves as being against the system, as being the true revolutionaries, but in actual fact, they're not really. On one level they are, but then when it's inconvenient to say the truth, they don't say it. Yes. Whereas other thinkers and analysts such as Icke and Lord Voldemort, here we have him, Lord Voldemort, AJ, they say the truth, they tell the truth when it's inconvenient. And so they are not gatekeepers, really. So yes, I'd like to finish my video now. I think I've mentioned everything that I wanted to say. Perhaps there's some other thoughts, but at the moment I don't have them in mind. I hope I presented a balanced view of conspiracy thinking, conspirological thinking, the benefits of it, the uses, the limits as well at the same time. And yes, I hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one.